photo shoot or something. But I'm like, just like this. Oh, it looks better like even like further up, yeah. But I was like, I'm trying to give my knee a rest, and I'm just like leaning, but I'm like,
New profile picture.
yeah. I have to send you this. If you haven't seen it, it's just hilarious. It gets me every time. I just crack up every time. My self-indulgent moment, I don't know, make people laugh or something. But I don't think people get it. I think it was just me. I have to find it. But on my other YouTube, my creative YouTube, the 48-hour horror project. Did I send that to you? Did you see that?
You did not, but I actually have a nosy question, and I'm curious if I'm correct.
Okay.
I
don't even know what to think about that. We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
But
sorry.
No, it's okay.
Reverting back to my junior high self.
Yeah. Wow, you're good though. My goodness, I'm impressed. Sorry. Darn it, how do I access, what is going on? No, that's not what, I still don't have an introduction because I don't, oh, wait, I should record myself, click on me. So, I don't have an introduction because I don't really have a theme to my channel. I don't really have a purpose to my channel. My purpose to my channel is to be expressive. We talk about censorship in Gabrielle's, I almost called you Andrew. Gabrielle's.
I mean, my last name's McAndrew, so right. It's not up far.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I don't have a theme. I don't have a purpose. I really want to be myself because I think that people will relate to that. No matter who you are, who I am, it doesn't really matter. We're all human. So things that I think about or whatever most people I think might not say but think, or maybe you don't think the same way. So that's like really my only purpose to my channel. So I guess vlogging, but I'm tired. I haven't done that in a while. It's a lot of editing and it's still a lot of minutes on screen. So I talk a lot. So I need to come up with something better, but welcome anyways. So we just finished. This is round 2 of videos. I was supposed to go over Gabrielle's, but a snowstorm happened today up to when we started recording. And it was sunny for a while. So I'm like, great, weather. We couldn't have done that like an hour ago or 2. So we decided to do this instead, and we had technical difficulties where I recorded the video but no sound, and Gabrielle kind of has sound. So
and no space. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, it was a crazy time to begin with, and then at the end, it's like, no, we have to redo it. So here we are again. Yeah. So both of us, I started this in March, and Gabrielle came to one class. It's a Meisner technique school. I came in actually, and she was already there sitting, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I know you. We met only, and I was saying this, I don't know which video, we met only in May, teaching English as a second language or foreign language class, seminar, but it feels like May, a year, 2 years ago, and it feels like it's been just, this whole year, it feels like at least 2 years in one. That was a side note. And so we thought, I don't know who thought, to do kind of an example of the first 2 stages. So the way that this teacher teaches is you have first stage repetition, you have the second stage repetition where you change. The first one, you just pick something on the other person, you stick with it, and the words are supposed to be meaningless after a while. It's supposed to be about what you're feeling and what they're feeling, and allowing yourself to be affected by the other person, and vice versa, and all around. The second stage repetition is start off the same way, but then something changes, like you're surprised, you're happy, you're embarrassed, you're something, you're sad, you're angry. And that, when you really feel it, that's a pinch, as she calls it, and you're supposed to only change the repetition when you feel something. So if you're happy, you're not supposed to say, oh, I'm ecstatic. Well, what changed? Nothing changed. You're still happy. Because it's supposed to teach you to be okay with silence and to let the conversation, whether on stage or in film, be natural. Because you don't really anticipate what you're going to say in real life. So it's supposed to teach you that. And also to be able to connect to yourself and the other person, and to just be organic. Then the other stages that we're not going to show you, because that would be a challenge, especially through video chat. The first part of that is activity, where you do something that is supposed to have a lot of meaning to you, sort of hypothetical. I don't know, balance, juggling balls. That sounded bad. That's what she always references. Like, who juggles anymore? Anyways, yeah. If you juggle, you'll get $500. Something not extravagant, but something that's sort of believable to you in your world, and that can mean something to you. And everyone's different. And then someone hovers for you, which is just they stare at you and they do the repetition. That's teaching you to pay attention and to be able to focus on two different things, on the person and on the task. And then you move on and you become the hover. And then you do emotional prep, where you go and you basically fantasize. You have something that grounds you to reality, whether a person that means something to you, a lot to you, and something happens, good, bad. So you're sad, angry, or happy in these situations. So something good happens to them, something bad happens to them, or to yourself, or whatever. And it's supposed to evoke these emotions to the extreme, at least at the beginning. You make a hypothetical, again, like a fantasy world, sort of that. Nothing is real. So if you had a pet die, which I had this year, don't imagine that. Don't relive that. You're just supposed to make something else. And actually, what I did was just think of him, what it would be like if he was here, or what I'm missing this year with him, like Christmas with him this year, or something like that. Or just thinking about him made me cry. So yeah, you're supposed to like train your brain then to be creative. So when you get a script, you are creative with your choices. But it's more complicated than that. But that's basically it. So you're coming in to do an activity with that emotion. So that makes you more sensitive to the other person who is coming in as a door trying to get something from you. And then you become the door, and then you do a relationship. In a relationship, you set up a situation where, for example, you both had a huge fight at this restaurant over hard-boiled eggs. I don't know, just made that up. Storm off, and you're coming and you're doing the activity, and they are coming to your door, or the other way around, addressing the situation in a way, but you cannot say what it is or talk about it. And the moment you open the door, you address it and then you drop it, which is harder than it is. A lot of people don't drop the relationship, or yeah, it's all sounds so easy, and it's not.
It's hard.
Yeah. I took this month off, December, and I'm looking forward to being back on Monday, yeah, in the new year. And I have, like, not even going to say it, but they know who they are. I don't know who they are. I just want to say I felt really bad because growing up, I was taught, don't take charity, and that's bad. And yeah, like I really want to be grateful, but I'm more stressed. I'm like, no, I have to pay this person back. No, like, I mean, I'm poor, but I have a house, I have like a roof, I have food, like,
Yeah.
So,
wow.
yeah, so I'm getting very stressed. I'm like hyperventilating already. But I mean, I appreciate it, obviously, a lot, but I'm very stressed about it. So thank you. But yeah, I'm starting off the year very weird. And then I mentioned to you that I'm also going to be in a play, my first ever play, big theater, I guess, a big deal. So good year so far. Self-promotion, whatever. Try not to talk about myself. This will be kind of more of a challenge. I have an idea. 5,100. Alpha 5,100 Sony. It blurs your face. It retouches your face. And it's disgusting. You look like an alien or, wax person. You can't turn that off. You cannot turn it off.
Oh, no.
So I really love Sony so much. And I'm thinking of selling the Canon T5i because I don't really use it, and this is so good. I mean, the picture is so beautiful. I can't handle it. Another pointless anecdote.
Sorry. Well, can I throw this out? Do you want to try photo booth at all? Because it would record you, and you don't have to, and then you could still look at me while we do the repetition.
Oh, now it makes sense.
Yes, it does like the mirror thing. I think that's why. It's okay. That's why I was like, when we were doing the takes earlier, do you care if I look at myself while we're doing the mirror
wow.
Because it's what I got myself used to. I'm not sure that's a good thing anymore. But in that case.
Okay, so that's happening. So I don't have to actually watch that. It's just recording my camera. Oh.
Right?
Yeah, that makes sense now. Yeah. So I'm recording that. Last time we did 1 minute and it was too fast, and then we did 5 minutes and it was way too long. I'm going to put 3 minutes. I think that's good. It's good in between.
I love it. Halfway. Okay.
I don't know why I just clapped. First stage repetition. All right, ready?
Ready.
Okay. You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you. You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
You have a dresser behind you.
I have a dresser behind me.
I'm going to stop it right there. 39 seconds to go. But I was like, nope.
Not uncomfortable, are we? I mean, at least this time, I didn't make it about, oh, that's
yeah,
right.
It wasn't about the dresser.
It was about the eyeliner.
Right, yeah, last time you said the eyeliner. And that's the thing, like she said, don't make it about something that you will always see on the person, because then it's easy to make it about that person. I mean, for me, it was the dresser, so it's behind you.
Yeah.
I don't think I felt like I used it, per se. May a little bit. But...
No, in fact, it was runny. It was funny? It was funny. Wow, it was funny because I felt like in the first like moment of the repetition when I answered you, I felt like it surprised you, kind of like how serious I was, which then that was funny. It was pretty consistent. I felt like it was. I liked this one better. I felt like it was more dynamic this time, and last time I felt like I was in my head, and this time I didn't feel that way.
In college, in my MBA, I did acting for like 2 semesters. We had to do Shakespeare. At the end, we had a monologue. It was Cymbeline. It was from Cymbeline. And it was interesting because I took it, and I'm so used to languages, and I took it and I translated it basically in plain English or a combination of Romanian.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then so it was so easy for me to live it and to say it naturally versus, like a poem. And I felt kind of like here the same thing. At one point, I felt like in my head, I said, "Oh, you're confused," but obviously, I was saying, "There's a dresser behind you," or all those things. Right. I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting." Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Like it felt more like a conversation of emotions than last time.
Yeah, which is what it's supposed to be.
We were confused. We were shocked. We were amused. It was dynamic.
The second stage, now we can say what we feel. We can name the feeling. instance or moments. There's different ways you can approach this. What you don't want to do is you don't want to fall back on an answer. So negating something is usually not okay in our class, especially or specifically, because if you negate something, then it's easy for you to say, oh, I'm not feeling that way. Oh, I'm not this. Or I'm not that. And it's an escape rather than a truth. But I had a professor here who let us negate, and I also had an experience where I was with one of the classmates for over an hour, maybe 2 hours of repetition non-stop. Like non-stop. By the end, you feel your brain is completely mush. You have like complete emotional and mental breakdown, but in a good way. I don't know. It was so awesome because I literally had no censor, and I needed that to be able to fit in these rules where you can't negate, you can't do this or that. And I remember I would say stuff like, not saying, oh, I feel embarrassed, but owning that, oh, I was stupid. And to me, like, helped a lot. So I just wanted to address that because I know last time we did it, I actually got upset. I did something like that and you corrected me. And I'm like, hold on.
Oh, I don't remember that part.
Yeah,
Sounds
I don't
like
think you picked up on
sorry.
it. But I think that you were confused by my reaction because I was so angry.
Okay. No.
This, I think it'll be better for 3 minutes because the first one, you're saying the same thing over and over again. And at one point, you do kind of get it in your head more. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe this will be long again, too. I kept thinking, like, can I set the timer?
Ready.
Oh,
I like your eyebrows.
you like my eyebrows.
I like your eyebrows.
You like my eyebrows.
You're serious.
You're analyzing.
I'm analyzing.
You're analyzing.
I'm distracted.
You're distracted.
I'm distracted.
That's, I don't,
That's,
I'm in my head.
you're in your head. That was funny.
That was funny.
That was funny.
That was funny.
You're amused.
You're changing.
I'm changing.
I think that's obvious. I'm
It's
amused.
obvious.
Yeah, it's obvious.
I'm puzzled.
You're puzzled?
I'm puzzled.
You're puzzled. I'm
You're
confused.
confused by that.
I'm confused.
You're confused.
I'm confused. You're very calm.
I'm very calm.
You're calm.
I'm calm.
You're calm.
I'm calm.
You're calm.
You're calm.
I'm kind of embarrassed.
Surprise you.
I'm I'm embarrassed.
I'm embarrassed. I feel bad.
You're mad?
I feel bad.
Oh, I appreciate that. Oh, I feel so stupid.
That's stupid.
You feel bad.
I feel bad.
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 You feel bad.
I'm relaxed.
You're relaxed.
I'm relaxed.
You're relaxed.
I'm relaxed.
You're blinking a lot.
I'm really.
You're blinking a lot.
I'm blinking a lot.
You're blinking
That's
a lot.
annoying.
That's annoying.
I feel bad.
You're amused. You're laughing.
I'm laughing.
You're laughing.
I'm laughing.
You're laughing.
You're laughing.
I'm laughing.
You're laughing.
I'm laughing.
I'm laughing.
I'm laughing.
You're calm.
I'm calm.
That confused you.
That confused me.
That confused you.
I'm nervous.
You're nervous?
I'm nervous. You're concerned.
I'm concerned.
I appreciate that.
We appreciate that. I'm glad.
I'm glad you're glad. That was
That was
stupid.
sassy. That was sassy.
That was
I'm
sassy. You're amused. I'm
I'm
confused. I'm offended. I'm offended.
You're offended.
I'm offended.
I feel bad.
You feel bad.
I feel bad.
I feel that's stupid, but time is up.
I feel that stupid.
In went off.
It's interesting every time to see what happens. Like I feel, I know this is really, you want to talk about things that are stupid. This is really stupid. But I feel like a dog off her leash, like without an instructor. I told you, it's stupid without an instructor here.
In a positive way or a negative way?
I don't like negative. I think more in a concerned way, and maybe that's just where I need to grow in confidence in the exercise, if that makes sense.
Like you're uneasy.
Yeah.
For me, it was the opposite. For me, being in front of her was more nerve-wracking than, because, like I said, like she has the rules. Here, it depends who you're doing this with. I did this with this guy from class who was very adamant about the rules. And that was very annoying. And I'm like, I don't want to Meisner with you because I don't really care about the rules. I'm a rule breaker. I'm not doing anything that's wrong. I'm just being very open and very uncensored. I'm calling you out and stuff. But I was negating, and he did not like that. I don't feel at all uneasy when I'm not in front of the teacher. It's definitely the opposite. So maybe it's the confidence. Either both ways, I think it might be the confidence.
Yeah, I think for me it's a confidence thing. I know this is really stupid, but I almost wonder too if it's like a lack of confidence just because of the snow this week. I didn't have class at the other location. Does that make sense? Which is really stupid.
Well, no, it's not stupid. That's how I felt. That's why she is adamant about not taking breaks. It is hard once you are out of the element to be in that headspace. I've been doing it since March.
Yeah.
A lot. Like I would go every class for every week for at least half a year. I think it was easier for me to get back into it, but when we first started the last time, I felt that too. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so weird and I'm embarrassed and this is so uncomfortable doing it. How long have you been?
I started Halloween, so like officially 2 months.
Are you on activities?
I just recently moved on to hover, but I haven't done my first hover yet.
Exciting.
So this was good practice.
To end this video officially, because no one needs to know all the chit chat about class. That's like boring if you're not in it.
I do want to add real quick, I appreciate the order and how we filmed these videos so that we can talk about our New Year's resolutions, because otherwise I think instead of having done the repetition with you with my feet propped up like a teenage punk here on my bed, I probably would have had my legs crossed like I would be out in public, and instead it was just really chill. As we're talking about censorship and authenticity and being truthful, all of those details.
Last time you had a moment when we were doing the second day repetition, and because I want to mention it again because I really loved seeing it, you went from being uncomfortable and in your head, and you had a moment of being completely comfortable, completely present, where nothing else mattered but that moment when you were like comfortable, whatever. And it was beautiful to see, and it put me at ease as well. So yeah, so I just wanted to mention that also again, because we don't have sound for that video where I said this.
I really appreciate that.
That's kind of it. And so that's Meisner stuff. And we talked on your video, check her video out. We did New Year tag questions, 10 questions. So check out the video. It'll be linked below. I wish they still had the things that pop up, but they don't. You know, YouTube changes. Yay, change is good, right? But yeah, check out her video and her other videos as well. We did a language challenge last time and an interview as well. If you haven't seen those are also long, just like these will be. Yes, so in her New Year video, I briefly mentioned this, but we both agreed on the fact that we think Meisner should be a life skill that people, no matter who you are, where you are, should learn. In my experience and what I've noticed and my just personal philosophy, I've always felt or believed or seen, I don't know, I need to say all those words. Don't commit, that's me. Don't commit to one word. If you don't say, if things remain unspoken, they build more resentment and more negative energy between two people or more than if they're spoken. So if you say, I hate you, it might sound like it's the last thing you want to say, but probably you don't really hate that person. You just hate some moment or something or whatever, and it's a very temporary hate. Is not really, it's a very temporary emotion. So you can get past that. Like the other person might say, well, I hate you too. Or they might get really upset. They might cry. They might yell at you. They might get angry. They might laugh. So like thinking, I also always do this. I think I know how the other person will react. Many times we're wrong. There's so many factors to why people react a certain way, how their day went, or but you get past it. That's what I experienced on my own skin in Meisner. When you do the repetition, you're like both angry, and then at one point you just let it all out, and you're not angry anymore because you don't even remember what you were angry about. That's the one tweak I do want to say. So when you're like always like I'm angry, I'm angry, I'm angry, I'm angry, or and you keep butting heads, at one point if you take 1 second to breathe and take the other person in at their word and respect that that is how they're feeling and not fight against that, that changes everything. And all of a sudden everyone drops their guard and appreciates the other person for taking them in. You become friends. Like honestly, I've experienced that on my skin. So expressing is not a bad thing, and I wish more people would definitely do that.
Not expressing in certain cases is a bad thing,
right?
Because you said that
Did I
it
say
never
that the other way?
never gets addressed. Well, you know what I mean. Especially when those expressions maybe are negative. I mean, like you said too, it doesn't always have to necessarily be a full vent to your own anger if that's the situation. But you know, acknowledging things is far better than pretending like they don't exist.
Yeah, and I think when we get angry, it's usually because we're hurt. So when you're trained to recognize your own feelings as well as the other people's, then all of a sudden, you approach things differently. So instead of just yelling at them, you might like, hold on, no, what you just said hurt me, instead of just yelling at them in anger. I was saying with jobs as well, you might not think this would be applicable, and in some cases it's not. But I think more and more, you can't be your best self if you're not your full self. This is what my boss actually believes and said, and I will take her words sort of and use them. Yeah, because if you are censoring yourself for your boss or your coworkers or whatever, thinking, oh, I'm going to lose my job, or oh, they're going to demote me, or they're going to not look at me as a team player, or whatever negative thought you might have, you're not actually wasting all that brain effort and space and energy into that instead of a creative solution or a creative idea. Or so you say a stupid idea, or you say something like, hey, I feel like I'm not appreciated, and they might not want you to feel that way. So we make all these scenarios in our head and we lose on both sides. So we could all be living happily together, instead we're just censoring ourselves all the time, which is making things actually worse.
I second that.
Yeah. You know, one thing that I do want to do this year more, I have these My Intent bracelets, and I've had Take Up Space. I thought it was a spider, because I think it was my shadow. I've had House, which is Superwoman. I love her. I adore her. She's my idol. She's made my life. She's changed my life around. Some other ones. Do is another one I have, and they have helped me a lot. Own up to whoever I am. So I talk a lot. I'm like, okay, whatever. This year I started doing that, and I want to do that more. Okay, talk a lot. I take up 30 minutes, and I don't let Gabrielle talk almost at all.
I'm listening. Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
I was watching Frasier, so it's funny you say that. I keep watching Frasier.
I've seen parts of it.
But yeah, he always says, I'm listening, because he's a radio psychologist. So yeah.
That's great. I'll be Frasier tonight.
All right. So thank you for your patience.
Yeah.
And for participating, and thank you for watching at home or wherever you are, in the bus, at work. I don't know. I actually put YouTube at work. I listen in. I don't actually watch it. I listen. But I hope for this you actually watched, and maybe you had your own ideas about what was happening with us based on our faces and expressions and body language. And I really hope that you can try this at home with people. I was going to say your dog, but I mean, you can. I don't think that works. So, any last remarks on your side?
Check out her channel, like, subscribe, And, be sure to check out all those other videos too. Don't miss anything.
I need to I need to give you a percentage
Oh!
whenever I earn anything, if ever that happens, as a PR.
Oh my gosh.
I don't say that. You say that. Like, check out her videos, and I'm just here like, oh, yeah, that too. Yes, please like and subscribe our videos. Watch both of us. And yeah. Cool.
Thumbs up.
Have a wonderful night. Peace, love, and compassion. Yeah. Bye.